This is a marathon. We have been struck by one of the worst national disasters in the history of this country. The death toll and the number missing is more than probably any of us can stand. But we are going to continue to do everything we know to restore hope and confidence in Tuscaloosa.
And welcome back to a special extended edition of WVUA News at 10. Well, you know, many families were affected in the Alberta City area, and a lot of them lost their homes along with everything they owned. The weeks following the April 27th tornado were some of the hardest times families had ever faced, but each family found different ways to deal with the tragedy. WVUA's Bradley Whittington shows us how one family who lost it all used laughter to pull through.
Okay.
He's a very nice husband. He's been so wonderful.
Thank you. Oh, there. Now, I remember now.
Laughter and love.
All the stuff we went through, we had to laugh.
It pretty much sums up the Nero family, and it's what got them through a year when each other is all they had.
We hovered down and prayed and prayed. We come out, and that's when we looked around and everything was just destroyed.
Not only the community of Alberta, but the Nero family home, which left them with nothing. But it doesn't stop there.
A few days after the tornado, I had a heart attack, I had open heart surgery, and I had a stroke.
But those days are now behind them. The family is preparing to move into a new home built by Habitat for Humanity. But they won't be moving far. From the front porch of their new home, you can see where their old home used to sit. Now an empty lot, but still a daily reminder of what happened on April 27th.
I'm having to deal with it. I still have bad thoughts. I still get emotional about it because I went through so much and I'm still grieving.
The Neros are excited to be moving into their new home, but they're not as excited about what surrounds their new home today.
No.
We're still sad.
It's just empty. You can come out at night and it's still dark. It's no houses. It's some progress. You can see some progress, but it's just, I guess because the way I feel, it's not fast enough.
But whether they're happy or sad, there's one thing this couple is always doing.
Did you see that cat cross back over there in the middle?
No, I didn't.
I don't like cats. I mean, I wasn't going to.
She hates
If he had came up here, it would have been a different story.
She'd have probably tore all this up running.
See, you getting me in trouble. Brad.
It's funny how a simple thing like laughter can be everything in a time when people have nothing.
Oh, we going to Cracker Barrel in the morning.
I don't think so.
You're not going to take it to morning?
No, it's Cracker Barrel in the house.
Reporting in Alberta, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
April 27th tornado made national headlines. Everyone from the broadcast networks to the cable news stations came to Tuscaloosa to cover the devastation. The Weather Channel's Jim Cantori was one of the first national broadcasters on the scene, and WVUA's Taylor Montgomery caught up with him as he remembers what happened that day.
In over 25 years at the Weather Channel, meteorologist Jim Cantori has seen many scenes of damage left behind after natural disasters. He was one of the first national meteorologists on the scene after the storms hit Tuscaloosa in April of last year. Now, 1 year later, Cantori is back in the Druid City reporting on the recovery progress.
344 tornadoes across 21 states, enough to be labeled a super outbreak of tornadoes during a historic year for tornadoes in 2011. We'll talk about here in Alberta City, Alabama, stories of sadness and rebirth as we talk about the comeback just a little more than a year ago today. Stick around. Weather Center Live starts right now. you kind of remember when you first get back, and you remember how bad it was and how hard it was and still is on so many people.
Cantori is happy with the progress of the recovery, but says because of the magnitude of the storm, it will take a lot of time to rebuild Tuscaloosa the way it was before the storms hit.
It's not going to happen overnight. That was a big tornado. I mean, you're talking 80 miles of a mile and a half of destruction. I mean, that's just something that doesn't get replaced in a year.
And he also says you can't read the mind of Mother Nature, but hopes an outbreak like this never happens again.
No two weather patterns are created equal, and I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't come out here as a meteorologist and desire what we had happen, and it's just fine with me if it never happens again for the rest of my life.
In Tuscaloosa, Taylor Montgomery, WVUA News.
And another one that's been rebuilt with a beautiful yard.
Time now to bring in our meteorologist, Richard Scott. And Richard, couldn't have asked for a better night to be out here, huh?
Oh, yeah. It feels great out here, John. We're talking temperatures in the 70s, not bad for this time of the night. A little breeze happening, but, hey, it feels great out there. And, yeah, that is something we're certainly thankful for after the big anniversary we're talking about. You know, one thing in the weather office, we are talking about some hot temperatures. Your forecast is coming up after the break. We'll talk about the 90-degree temperatures. First, today's Weather Almanac. Temperatures back in the mid-80s this afternoon. 84 officially in Tuscaloosa. What about your weekend forecast? You got plans outdoors? Hey, we're talking some 90s possible. Home team weather's after the break, so stay with us.